in economics term, we do marginal analysis means just like in the math. Those of you coming from the STEM background, so we normally will say y equal a function of x. So what that says, when x changes, how much will y change. So that's basically that. And then the other term from if you do a calculus, so first derivative, that's what the meaning of the marginal is in math or economics, is first derivative, if you know what I mean. If you don't, that's fine. No issue whatsoever here. So once we have this good understanding of this, let's take a look at this example right here, which is relevant to us. So it's margin. So we have an output. So this is a number of units that, whether that's a ice cream or a car or any other, like cookie or anything, is output level. So this is product, each unit product. So we produce one product, two product, three products. So each time we increase our output level by one. So incremental, the magnitude of the increase of output is 1 unit. And the unit price is according as this, why the price goes down. Well, when we have, if you understand the demand curve, we talked about before, the lower the price, the higher the demand. So the more product you want to sell, everything else equal, the lower the price you have to price your product at. So it takes more effort to sell more product. When the supply is constant, and then the demand curve is kind of like the price goes down, the demand goes up. So if you want to sell more, if you want to sell more, then you need to lower your price per unit. Okay, so that's why the price goes here. And then here's the cost of producing each product. So you can see here the trend of the product of the cost is per unit base is going up, is going down, 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 and then goes up, 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 up. Well, that makes sense too, because when you start to making a new product, there's a learning curve. It takes a while for you to get a hang of it, so you get more efficient the more you produced. Then gradually, but when you get more and more, your cost can go getting higher because you got tired. Thinking about us like an individual, you will working on something, you started to learn something, you creating the widgets like in your factory workshop. So you created one, you learn, you took longer to bake a cookie, to create a cake. For example, you learn how to decorating a cake. So the first one you took like 2 hours. The second one may take you maybe an hour and a half. The third one take you an hour. So you get more efficient along the way when you learn things. But when you make a 10th, the 11th, the 12th cake, you get very exhausted, you're very tired, and your concentration is not there. Then it takes you longer to make the 13th cake, the 14th cake, the 15th cake, just like that. So, long run, the cost of producing something repeatedly is going to go down, 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 and then go up and up. So that's kind of what I would say. And just also, in the economics term, the utility. Like, let's say we are trying to eat something we like. So the first bite, oh, that's so good, delicious. The second bite, yeah, delicious. So your utilities goes up, and then once you eat more and more and more, then each additional bite has no benefit to you. Suddenly you got stuffed. You don't feel the sensation of that good tasting anymore. And then if you keep eating, then you started to overeating. Then you got vomiting, you throw up because you put too much there. So that should actually become detrimental. That's what we call diminishing returns. Okay, so the point I'm making here, so introduce this concept of diminishing returns, and will intuitively, I think everyone understands the concept of the diminishing returns. Same thing like here, you're learning, you're getting productive, you get efficient, and then gradually that return of increasing the costs, not increasing costs, increasing productivity, reducing the cost, that benefit are gradually diminished, and then that's the cost, unit cost goes down, 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 and then comes up. So we understand that, okay? So how this is the total revenue, is basically is the number of unit output you sold times the unit price. So you got total revenue, number of unit you sold times the unit cost, you got total cost. Therefore, the total revenue minus the total cost, you'll have the total profit. So basically, as simple as that. This column is the profit, this column is the total cost, and this column is the total revenue. So what is the marginal revenue then? Marginal revenue, it means for each additional unit we sell, how much additional revenue we're going to have. So basically, the X earlier I said Y equal function of X. So X increased by 1. So this is your X, and this will be your Y. Okay. So how much did that change? So what is in calculus term is delta Y. What is the delta Y when given delta X? All right. So that's what it is. So here, the marginal revenue for this one, from 0 to 1, our revenue increased by 580, and then from 1 to 2, our revenue increased by this minus that. So that's our marginal revenue. And then when we increase our sales from 2 to 3, our revenue increased by 560. So that's our marginal revenue. So we'll just copy that down. You see the marginal revenue goes down, down, down because your unit price keeps going down. The more you sell, the more you have to lower your price. So the marginal revenue is coming down, and the marginal cost doing the same thing. So when we produce 0 versus producing 1, our cost increased by 570. And then when we produce 2 products versus producing only 1, our cost increased by this much. So copy that down. Our marginal cost is like coming down, down, down. Once we got here, all right, it's going up, 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 up. Okay, so that's the marginal cost goes up, the marginal revenue goes down. That's how that works. Okay. So in this case, this is a turning point for marginal costs. Okay, that's our turning point. So if you graphic this, we can see here. So let me graphic this. So I'm going to insert a graphic, 2-dimensional. I'm going to add data. The data range is marginal here, and then marginal cost here. So this is how it looks like. So the blue line is your marginal revenue, and the orange line is your marginal cost. So one is the profit being maximized. The profit being maximized right at here. Right? If you can look at the total profit. Which is right here. That's when you maximize your total profit. Right? Okay, that's what this one, which is around 10, 11 right here. So we can do this one right here. We do chart design. So you can see here, around 10, 11-ish, you will be able to maximize. Since we're not able to sell a fraction of the product, so we'll say either at 11 or at 10 will be our maximize our profit. So that's what it is, all right? And under this area right here, that's when your revenue, marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. So whenever you're in this range, you want to sell more, more, more. You want to produce more, more, more. as long as you can sell them because you're making profit. Although your profit keeps dropping per unit increase from 1 per unit profit is dropping, but the total profit still goes up. So you still want to do it. But once you get in this area, cross this line, this point right here, you come to this area, then your marginal cost is higher than your marginal revenue. Then in there, then you do not want to do it. Okay, you do not want to do it. So here is your 200, which is 4, is your lowest marginal costs right here. All right, that's corresponding to that 200. So again, this area is your marginal profit is positive. Once you get into this area, your marginal profit is negative. Well, we can see that. Okay, we can see here your marginal profit from 0 to 1 is 10, but from 1 to 2 is 330. And then at one point, it turned negative right here. Right? Okay. So that's the concept of marginal analysis. So let's talk about right now. What about the cost of most of the time we do average cost. A lot of people that not economists. So let's say I'll show you what average cost is. So for average cost is the total cost divided by number of units you produce. Okay, so that's the average cost. So let's see if I graphic this average cost on the same line and see how that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to add one in here, add one series, and that's going to be my average cost column right here. So you can see here the average cost right now is this gray line. Average cost, it always intersect with your remember the orange line is a marginal cost. It always intersect at its lowest point. It means you can see the average cost, where's the lowest point, which is 279 somewhere. That's your lowest point on the average cost, and that's when you intersect with your orange line, which is number 7 right here. Okay, so that's your marginal cost, 280, and so this one 279. So that's very close from the graphic here. So they may be intersect a little bit offset, 6.9 something, but you get the draw. This is approximation here. So you can see here, your average cost is always intersect with your marginal cost somewhere at the lowest point of its curve, which is average cost. Okay. Total cost, average total cost also. I'm sorry, this is actually your average total cost, right? So if sometimes if you deal with, you have a function of variable cost, fixed cost concept, then the average variable cost also intersect with the marginal cost at its lowest point, just like your average total cost curve right here, this gray line. All right, so that's in the short run, and in the long run, then everything for the long run, the shape and position of the average total cost curve, which is this gray line, is determined by its productivities. Yeah. The number of short run average total cost curves equals the possible variation production process. So the long run, which is the long run average total cost curve, is you can be extrapolated from all possible short run average cost curve. All right, so it's just the collection of the short run average total cost. All right.